good? Okay, I will call the Everman City Council regular meeting to order. It is Tuesday, June 9th, 2026, and the time is 6:03. I'm going to ask our chaplain to come up and say the invocation for us, followed by Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, so first item on the agenda is consent agenda. Item A, minutes from regular meeting, minutes from May 12th, 2026, and special call meeting, May 26th, 2026.
And Mayor, we're going to pull this consent agenda from, this consent item from the agenda. The minutes were not able to be sent out with Mindy,
Okay.
with Mindy being out, so those have not been distributed. So we're going to pull the minutes.
I remember you said that. Okay, so next item, item B, is financials for March 2026 and April 2026. I'll entertain a motion to accept.
I move that we accept the financials as presented.
I second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
Now, just to note, those were sent out earlier today, primarily delayed because we're still mid-audit. If you haven't figured out, we haven't got the audit report back, so that's been a huge impact on getting these financials out. But we should have the audit report back to you this next month.
Are you doing the roll call? So,
Yes, I will.
would you poll the council?
I will. Place 1,
Aye.
place 2,
Aye.
place 3, place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6.
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carries.
Next item is presentations. Item A, proclamation honoring America 250 and commemorating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. Those glasses, something's wrong with them. Okay, so proclamation honoring America's 250 and commemorating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. Whereas on July 4th, 2026, the United States of America will commemorate the 250th anniversary of the adoption of the Declaration of Independence, marking 2.5 centuries of freedom, democracy, and self-governance. And whereas America's founding principles of liberty, equality, justice, and opportunity have inspired generations of citizens and continue to guide our nation through times of challenge and progress. And whereas the semiquincentennial, known nationally as America's 250, provides an opportunity to reflect upon our nation's history, honor the sacrifice of those who have defended and preserved the freedoms, and celebrate the diverse contributions of all Americans who have helped shape our country. And whereas communities across the nation are joining together to recognize this historic milestone, through civic engagement, education, service, remembrance, and celebration. And whereas the City of Everman proudly recognizes the enduring spirit of patriotism, service, and community that has defined our nation for 250 years and continues to strengthen our community today. And whereas the City of Everman encourages all residents to participate in America 250 commemorative activities, learn more about our nation's history, honor our veterans and service members, and celebrate the freedoms and opportunities that unite us as Americans. Now therefore it be proclaimed by the City Council of the City of Everman, Texas, that July 4, 2026 be hereby proclaimed as America 250 Day in the City of Everman, Texas, and the City Council encourages all citizens to recognize and celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. Next item, one everybody came here for, oath of office, badge pinning ceremony, Everman Fire Department, Mason Jordan.
Mayor, Council, thank you for having us. We join you again to do the honorary badge pinning and oath of office for one of our newer firefighters. This is about 2 months behind, unfortunately. As you can see, I've been out of office due to injury, so we're about two months behind. But never better late than never, and we got to make sure that we give him the honor and respect for and honor the traditions that we have in the fire service. So, with that, you ready? All right. Raise your right arm. Sorry, ours are long, so I don't want to do them disservice. I state your name.
I, Mason Jordan,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of firefighter
the duties of firefighter
for the City of Everman Fire Department,
for the City of Everman Fire Department,
and I will support and defend
and I will support and defend
the constitutional laws
the constitutional laws
of the United States and the state of Texas.
of the United States and the state of Texas.
For it is my duty to serve and protect,
For it is my duty to serve and protect,
safeguard and preserve
safeguard and preserve
life and property
life and property
against fire and other perils.
against fire and other perils.
I recognize the badge of my office
I recognize the badge of my office
is a symbol of public trust in the fire department,
as a symbol of public trust in the fire department,
and I vow to be faithful to
and I vow to be faithful to
the traditions and ethics
the traditions and ethics
of the fire service
of the fire service
and this oath,
and of this oath.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Good deal. If you will sign right there on the file. And who are we having badge pin you?
My brother, Casey.
Your brother, Kason. So, as customary, take the helmet. There we go. All right. So, obviously, he's already got his helmet, but as customary, he no longer has a probationary firefighter shield. So he's got his full-time, full-fledged, and ordained firefighter. And with that, go ahead and stab him in the chest. There we go. All right, congratulations, sir. Taking this off the picture, I'm not wearing it.
That's the way the camera is set up, so we can, camera, picture, cut in the nine. It's a galaxy.
I'm gonna pop it up here.
No, I don't know how to work it out. It's on, it's just, I think it's in settings. You can make it, I think it's in settings. But you can have the camera in nine. The galaxy. 26. It's the newest. That's cool. Yeah, it's just the way they. Have you taken a picture of it before they leave? Not bad. So you traded your old phone and it cost you $100.
Okay, next item is citizens' comments.
We have none.
Item 7, discussion items. Item A, monthly staff reports, police department and code enforcement.
Police
Good evening. For just a quick overview for the month of May, our officers responded to 1,578 calls for service.
Is your mic on?
Well, it's flashing between green and red. So it's trying to decide if it's on or not.
Let's try that.
All right, let's try again. Better? So in the month of May, our officers responded to 1,578 calls for service. And in those calls for service, this month we had a little bit more activity on requesting assistance by outside agencies. We responded to 15 calls from outside agencies for our officers to go out and assist them. That covers the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office, the Fort Worth Police Department, and the Forest Hill Police Department. Now, it should be noted that each of these agencies actually returned the favor early in May at the scene of our triple shooting that we had. We had a tremendous response of assistance from Fort Worth PD, Tarrant County SO, Forest Hill, and the Texas Rangers. The investigation in that is still ongoing with the invaluable assistance of the Texas Rangers. So when we go into our traffic summary, we had a number of car crashes, as is standard whenever you have people driving cars. They're going to run into each other. And of that, we ended up with 9 traffic crashes, which is not bad for a town this size, especially with some of the roads they have to bounce off of. But of those, we had only one major accident. We had several minor accidents where there's just property damage, no injuries, and then we had 3 hit and runs. And, our traffic enforcement activity ended up with 34 violator contacts that resulted in court citations being issued. Excuse me, I misquoted. 33 ended up with court citations. We ended up with 34 that ended up with warnings, either verbal or written warnings. Going into crimes against persons, we're down a little bit. We had 9 simple assault calls, 2 aggravated assaults, and the difference there is injury or weapon. If there's a weapon involved or there's a bodily injury, it becomes an aggravated assault. And we had 1 sexual assault investigation, which proved to be unfounded, was not, in fact, a sexual assault. On the property crimes side, we are way down, and that's a very good thing. Burglary calls. We had 2 burglary investigations for the month, and both of them were involving vehicles, not residences, no businesses. One of the vehicles had the windows smashed. The other one was left unlocked by the owner. Please remind everybody you know, lock your cars. That's the easiest way in the world to prevent a burglary. If they're going to smash a window, they're going to smash a window, but most of the time, they're just checking to see if the door is open. Disturbance calls, pretty constant. They hold pretty steady throughout the year. We ended up with 9 domestic disturbances. We ended up with 27 general disturbances. That can be loud music. It can be any number of things. Just kind of a catch-all. And our officers responded to 3 fights, and all 3 of those were school-related. On a staffing update, we are presently trying to fill 3 vacancies that we have right now. We've got several applicants in the process. We have an interview scheduled for tomorrow morning before the interview board, and hopefully the applicant will pass with flying colors and move to the next step of the process. So the wrap-up I've got for this is to remind everybody about Celebrate America. We've already touched base on it. It's coming up June 27th. We're looking for everybody to come out, have a good time, have some fun, have some music, and hopefully some reasonable weather. Look forward to seeing everybody there. Any questions, comments?
Okay, during the summer, would we have more patrols at night?
Do we have more patrols at night?
More drive-by patrols at night?
We have more officers available because the school resource officers are not locked into the campus quite as much. Some of them still are with summer school, but it does give us a little more flexibility for additional patrol. And it's beneficial for everybody during the summertime. Anything else? Thank you.
Good evening. Okay, so monthly report for May 2026. I am doing quite a bit of follow-ups from the previous month. So normally the time frame that I would give on violations is 10 days. Sometimes it does take longer, so I'm doing follow-ups on those cases. And then when those cases are still not in compliance, I do give another grace period that varies just to work with the citizens. So we're doing a lot of following up on previous cases at this time. So for the month of May, we have 37 new cases. I've closed 17. We've had about 4 open records requests, 14 proactive, where I've proactively gone out in the community and found violations, and reactive. These are the complaints that come in through either the online system or in person. There's 23. Primary violations, of course, we have outside storage, trash and debris, and parking in the yard, and highways and grass. So when we do the reports, there are still a few more days left in the month, so the numbers are a little bit higher because every day I do have new violations that come in, new cases that are open. I am seeing an uptick, of course, in highways and grass and outside storage. I am seeing quite a bit of work without a permit being done, so we are addressing that accordingly. So with that, I'll go out and issue stop work orders if they have not obtained the proper permits. I've had a few raw sewage complaints come in recently and various other violations. The Code Enforcement Department remains committed to preserving neighborhood appearance, promoting voluntary compliance, and reducing repeat violation. We're increasing public awareness through education. I continue to go out into the neighborhoods. I speak to people every single day. I make contact just to kind of ensure that they are aware of the expectations on keeping our community clean and safe. I am taking the time to get to know some of our citizens. I do feel like that approach is really helping. I am getting more phone calls, so people are, they're calling me and they're asking questions. They do have some complaints, of course, so we're working through that. And I'm having a really great time actually just really getting to know the citizens of Everman. So I do appreciate the opportunity you guys to allow me to do so. In conclusion, the month of May reflected a consistent enforcement workload with a strong emphasis of property maintenance and community standards. Educational outreach and making direct contact with residents continues to play a key role in achieving compliance and maintaining the quality of life of Everman. And that is it. Yes, ma'am. So sometimes you may have, and it can vary, so you may have someone on a property that it could be a vacant lot, maybe they're utilizing it for something different. You could have, it just varies. You could have people that are operating without the proper CO possibly, and they are supposed to be maybe a mechanic shop, but maybe minor repair, and they're doing major work. And so it just depends. It could mean many different things. It's just you're utilizing that property for a different reason or different manner than they were supposed to in accordance to the city of Everman. Okay. Anything else? Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Next item is animal services. Yeah, that'd be you.
Come on up, Ray.
Mayor and Council, in the evening. So we had the month of May, we had a pretty busy month, but we intook 69 dogs. 13 of those came from our city of Everman. We took in 35 cats, which was pretty high this month, but 8 of those were from Everman. So we took in over 100 animals this last May. So our numbers have kind of really increased there. But with that said, we have our positive outcomes. We had 40 dogs that we sent out. 6 of them were done at the shelter, and Mindy and her team, they put out 15 at the adoption events. And we returned 10 animals to their owners back from the shelter, and we returned 7 of them back in the field. We were able to find their owners before we brought them in. And we only transferred out 2 to rescue organizations, and it's that time of year where everybody's really full, so it's a lot harder for them to take in their animals. For cats, we brought in 24, or I'm sorry, we had 24 positive outcomes, 1 adoption at the shelter, and we had 21 that went to the rescue agencies. And a lot of those this time was kittens, and we had they came and got them because they were really young kittens, and we TNR'd 2 cats. Our phone calls, I'm still not able to get those numbers yet, so we'll work on that. What I really wanted to talk about too this month, and I know I really brag about Mindy and her team, how many animals they get out, but we're short a person right now, so I've been out in the field running calls, and I don't see near the dogs that I used to see when I first started. And when I go talk to people out in the field, all I hear is, well, how come Dakota's not here? Are you sure you can get that cat out of that trap? So I'm like, well, I'll try. So the team out in the field has just done an incredible job. They're communicating and making, really getting to know the residents. And they're doing a great job because, you don't see the animals that they used to see. So I think sometimes when we don't hear problems, we forget that there's really some good things going on. So they completed 191 calls total. 50 of those were here from the city of Everman, which our number 1 calls was, of course, loose animals and confined animals. So, do we have any questions? Or we did get that little black dog that was up in your neighborhood. Yes. So, all right. Thank you.
Thanks, Ray.
Next item is fire department.
Mayor, council, I will be as quick as possible. So since I have been out, mine's for a total of from April 15th to present. For those of you who didn't know, I had a shoulder reconstruction and bicep reattachment, so it's been a pretty lengthy recovery, and I've got about 8-10 more weeks of recovery time. So hopefully going to get out of the sling soon and actually be able to pick up more than a pound with my right arm, because I'm dying this way. I'm miserable. All right, so calls for service from April 15th to present. It's going to be a total of 218. The incidents by type, we got the fire type, a total of 8. We did have, during that time period, we had 1 in-city structure fire that the guys were on scene. It actually came in as an investigation, and they arrived on scene, upgraded it to a working structure fire. They got a quick knockdown on it, actually only slightly breached the interior of the home. It was an outside, that was inside the walls that was confined to the exterior. And we're able to safely evacuate the 8 residents that were within the home over at Hannah Ranch. So the cause is still under investigation, and the insurance company's got it. But they did a great job, quick stop, and handled the problem before it spread. Medical emergencies 143, motor vehicle accidents 11, hazardous conditions 12, and other call types is 44. For staffing, we did have 1 personnel resignation effective June 1st, and I have delivered an offer to one of our firefighter paramedics that was on our hiring list that was still active. He's the last possible candidate, so if the offer's not accepted, we're going to have to do a hiring process. New hires, I just kind of wanted to give a quick rundown. We do have the one new hire. His first day was about the day that I went out for medical, so I kind of felt bad because normally I'd like to welcome them with open arms. But so that's firefighter Moody. He's our full-time firefighter paramedic. He was full-time with THR, HEB as a paramedic, and then before that he worked at a couple other fire departments. Started his fire service career in 2019. And the others are part-time firefighters. Firefighter McCall, he was a full-time firefighter paramedic with us up until 2024, but he loved our department, and after he got past his probationary year in Addison, he said he wanted to come back here and be a mentor to our young guys. So we welcome him back. Firefighter Johnson, he's the youngest in the hiring as a part-timer. Just graduated in May 2025 from high school, but he's been on top of it, getting his TCFP firefighter and EMT. And then firefighter Spain, he is freshly out of the Marine Corps, and he's got family that are in the fire service, and so he knows that this is home. So he actually applied to be full-time We had to offer the job position to a firefighter paramedic, but he is hanging around because he wants a full-time job with us. So once the firefighter EMT spots opens up, then we'll definitely consider him. Other updates, so Celebrate America Fest. I don't know if you noticed, but I have a new post today. It's on the City of Everman's Facebook and the Everman Emergency Services. It's a jazzy one. I put a lot of color into this one to catch some eyes. And the most exciting part is we are officially announcing the headline musical guest. That's going to be the David Whiteman Band. They come with a pretty big following, a pretty electric show. That's it appears as if it's going to be more excitement than we've seen in the last few years. They want to put on a very, very jazzy show, and they've got a big band accoutrement. So we're excited to have them, and they want to. Most excited about they want to do sound check as early as noon, so we won't have to worry about any late issues. Sound checks are getting done really early this year, and the sound guy and I am all happy about that. We are very, very excited to announce today we finalized the partnership with On the Patio, the restaurant that's over off 100 North Forest Hill Drive. They are going to be our official alcoholic beverage serving company for the event. And he's going to bring out Full Stop, and he is actually going to serve food. They won't be making any on-site food. Everything's going to be made at the restaurant and brought out here as a food warmer. But new for this year, as every other year, we will be serving up bottle or canned Coors Light products, seltzers and whatnot, but they're actually going to offer a modified full bar. So if you'd like a mixed drink, then they're going to be able to help you out with that in relative to margaritas and mixed drinks. So we want to make sure that we are inviting to everybody's tastes. So that's going to be great. It's going to be underneath the main tent. So look forward to the partnership with On the Patio. They're excited to work with us, so look for good things with them. We're still accepting vendor applications, so please do help spread the word. If you look at the post on Facebook, it does have a link to the Jot form, so help forward that and repost that and push that out to your friends and family. Currently, we have about 30 total vendors that have signed up. Admittedly, this has really put a damper on me being able to do as much proactive push on Celebrate America. So that's unfortunate. I apologize for that, but hopefully I can do a last minute push and get it to the size and gravity that we need it to be.
Next item is Public Works.
All right. Gilbert could not be here this evening, but he did send me his report that I'll share with you. It's pretty brief. Parks and Streets, they had routine maintenance completed on all buildings. They did set up for 19 events here this past month here at the Civic Center. Repaired 10 potholes, and Kelly all block and Edna all the block. We understand that those are pothole repairs, not a complete reconstruction. In the water department, they completed the routine daily well reports, completed 30-plus work orders, and installed an AC unit and fixed a water leak at the Shelby well lot. We have had a couple of issues at the Shelby well lot as of late. It never fails at the kickoff of every summer. We tend to have some sort of water issue at one of the well sites. This site this year is Shelby, so we've been working to manage that and get that taken care of. But nothing else on Public Works.
Any questions or comments? Next item is review and discuss budget calendar for fiscal year 27 budget planning cycle.
All right. Susan has put it at each one of your positions, and I believe we've emailed it out too. This is the budget meeting calendar for this year. If you haven't noticed, there is a theme that Susan has picked for this year, and that is America 250. So our entire budget book will be themed America 250 to line up with all the celebrating that we're doing right now. We've got obviously our regular council meeting this evening. June 24th will be our town hall meet and greet. We're going to do that again. Last year we had a pretty low turnout. I'm hoping to get more of a turnout this year, get a good engaging opportunity with our community to talk about the budget and gain feedback on what it is they would like to see as we look to develop a proposed budget. June 29th through the 30th, we'll have our department head review. That's typically internal. for Susan and I to meet with each one of the department heads and talk about their proposals and what they would like to see within each one of their departmental budgets. On July 7th will be our first budget workshop. At that budget workshop, we'll talk about compensation, benefits, water and sewer fund expenditures, special revenue fund expenditures. On July the 9th, which is a Thursday, at 1 o'clock will be our large general fund expenditures workshop. We'll do that again here in the ballroom and provide lunch for that meeting. We'll have lunch starting at 12:30 like we have before, so you've got about 30 minutes to enjoy your food before we start having to talk with mouths full. Then on July 28th will be our proposed tax rate, revenues, and updated fee schedule. TAD has to have the certified tax roll to us no later than July 25th. So that gives us about 3 days to work with the proposed tax roll and how that's going to impact our revenues for this next year. August 11th will be when we plan to distribute the proposed budget book. August 25th will be our public hearing and special council meeting to talk about the tax rate and proposed budget hearings following the budget adoption. And then on September 8th, we do anticipate to be able to ratify that tax rate. Any questions on the budget calendar?
On the town hall meeting, could you possibly do a couple of announcements over the phone regarding the meet and greet?
Yes, ma'am. I think it's already programmed in, but we will absolutely push that out on the phone as well. I know we've got it on social media and the website, but we'll gladly put it out on our CTY system too.
I've got a question. July 28th, proposed tax rate. I got confused. I thought you said TAD needs their numbers by the 25th.
No. TAD gives us the numbers.
gives us.
Yeah,
Okay,
TAD will give us the certified tax roll no later than July 25th
Okay,
is
thank you.
what's required. Now, we might get lucky and we get it early,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't bank on it. It's normally pretty close. July 24th, 25th is when we'll get our certified tax roll. We cannot complete revenue, budgetary revenue assumptions until we get the certified tax roll.
Okay, thank you.
So that gives us 3 days to make the adjustments within the budget book to bring it back to you. And,
So no vacation on those 3 days.
That's my weekend.
yeah.
Okay.
Next item, staff report, Shelby Road construction project.
Okay, so this came to our attention this last week. The mayor and I were attending a meeting downtown Fort Worth with a couple of other jurisdictions to talk about some street needs in the region. And it was brought to our attention that Shelby Road is going to be under construction starting yesterday. We were not made aware of that, but it's a partnership between the city of Fort Worth and Tarrant County Precinct 1. They conducted an ILA, or completed an ILA to reconstruct Shelby Road. It is not a widening, it is just a reconstruction of Shelby Road, but that is desperately needed. So they're currently working on that. It's going to stretch from Forest Hill Drive / Rendon all the way to Race Street. And it will take them right up until the start of school. So we stressed with them of the importance of hopefully trying to get this completed before the first day of school. And the commissioner was very receptive to that, and him and his team have said, okay, we're going to make it happen. So they're pulling extra crews in to try to expedite the work and get it done as quickly as possible. It's a little bit of a surprise project for us, but it's a welcome surprise because Shelby Road is desperately needing some repair. So we're glad to see it done, and that's thanks to Commissioner Miles and the city of Fort Worth for working together to make that happen. But just wanted you to be aware of it.
Next item, staff report, update on animal shelter and City Hall construction projects and timelines.
All right, so we have had some pretty productive meetings on both these projects internally with the contractor. The animal shelter is nearly complete on engineering phase, so they're finishing up the what we call the MEPs, which is the electrical and other trades, to get those plans submitted. We expect to have that done by the end of next week to submit for permits. Once they submit for permits, it's a 10-day turnaround, but we expect to be able to break ground on actual construction at the site by the end of this month. So we will have contractors out. They said roughly within 2 weeks of submitting for permits, they should have crews on site ready to go. So we're getting very, very close to breaking ground on the animal shelter and getting that project jolting forward. City Hall's a little bit of a different story. We've had to go back and forth a little bit on the design, and it's going to require a little bit more in-depth engineering and architectural planning because it's not just a remodel, it's also a new build. So the timeline on that project is a little further behind. We're not expecting to be able to break ground on actual construction until close to September. And then construction will take probably 4 to 6 months after that to completion. So we're looking closer to maybe February or March even before we're ready to do a ribbon cutting on City Hall. But regardless, the work is going really well. I know there's a lot of thought being put into the design of the City Hall. I know we've got the City Council Design Committee that has met and reviewed once. We took those ideas and thoughts back to the contractor, and they're working on providing an update to the design to get back to us. Once we have that update, I think I'm supposed to have that by the end of this week. Once we have that update, we'll have more internal discussions with staff to make sure everything looks good, and then we'll have another meeting again with the City Hall Design Committee to make sure the overall layout looks good, and then we'll give them the go-ahead for moving forward onto the architectural and engineering phase to get the plans drawn up to submit. The house, if you haven't noticed, the house that was next door is gone, so demolition of that home has been completed, and it is up and out of the way. We are looking to try to schedule a very small, not big groundbreaking, primarily for City Council and City staff, friends and family, because this is a pretty momentous occasion for City Hall. We haven't had anything done to that building that's been this substantial, probably since it was constructed in the 70s, so it's a pretty substantial occasion. So we're looking to put together a small celebration to celebrate the groundbreaking, and then obviously we'll do a very big ribbon cutting ceremony when the project is complete. But we're working on planning that out right now, and we'll keep you posted on that. Any questions?
Yay.
Okay.
Next item, item 8, consideration and possible action. Item A, resolution number 2026-06-01, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Everman, Texas, authorizing a fireworks display in connection with the City of Everman Celebrate America Festival, authorizing the fire chief to take all necessary action to facilitate the event and provide an effective date. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 2026-06-01 as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Would you poll the council?
I'm trying to remember how to. Hold on. I'm sorry, who made the motion?
Judy.
And who seconded it?
Susan.
Mac.
Susan, okay, got it. Sorry, I forgot I was doing this tonight. All right, place 1? Place 2? Place 3? Place 4?
Aye.
Place 5?
Aye.
Place 6? Mayor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Huh?
I can change my vote if it makes you feel happy.
This is America 250. No, we're not voting no.
I will say on that topic, Chief is planning certainly something bigger and better than what we've ever had before. So it should be a good show this year.
Fireworks?
Yes, yes.
What time are fireworks going to be?
Actually, it was in my report, so I guess since it was an agenda, we can go back to it. I didn't mention that the times have been shifted slightly. As everybody has typically noticed, the crowds build the later we go. It's hot. It is what it is. And so we want to accommodate that, and we want to be able to provide the most effective time for people to get out and with their families and enjoy the evening. So instead of being early and doing all day, we pushed it to mid-afternoon to start at 2 o'clock, and we pushed it to 10:30 at night, so that at 10:30 on the dot, that's going to be, as we did last year, the band will come to finality, and then we'll start the fireworks show, and that's the end of the evening. But that does provide us with essentially about an hour extra of time, and I think that's going to increase our crowd size exponentially for the final hour of the event, and then for sure for the fireworks. So the fireworks display is scheduled to be a full 30-minute, and I'm talking, if it goes right, it's going to be a 30-minute long, what you would consider a finale of a fireworks show. Typically those are about, a minute long? We're going to shoot for a 30-minute long one, so it's going to be awesome.
So 10:30.
10:30, the fireworks will begin again, so. Well, I'm giving you the totality here.
I understand, a little
I wanna
detail there.
make sure that everybody understands, it's gonna be a late one, but it'll be better for everybody.
Okay.
It'll be cooler,
Thank you.
so.
Yeah.
Okay, so executive session, we have none. City manager's report.
A couple of things. I will be on vacation next week, starting Tuesday through the rest of the week, so I will be out of town. I'll have my phone on me if you need me, but taking the family out for a quick summer vacation, desperately needed right now. Secondly, we have been working overtime with the Parks and Recreation Commission on getting things rolling for the baseball and softball season coming up in the fall. So we have been able to now launch the new Everman Youth Athletics social media page, and we're getting the website up and running, getting prepared to launch registration. Here in the coming weeks, we're going to be bringing you back a fee schedule that we're going to ask for you to ratify. Unfortunately, time constraints are so tight, we're going to go ahead and authorize a fee schedule. However, it's $40 cheaper across the board than what the fees were before. And it's actually cheaper than other cities, so we're going to ask you to ratify that after we implement it to get your approval. Give you an idea of the fee schedule we're looking at: $55 per season for blast ball players, $130 per season for all other levels, baseball and softball. Last season it was $180, so we're significantly lower than what it was previously. So we're trying to save dollars. A couple of the other things that the board is working through right now to bring back for your consideration that we weren't able to offer before is an official financial assistance program so that we can ensure that all kids in our community for qualifying families have a way to play, and then making sure that we've got a proper sponsorship. So the commission has been working very, very hard on this, nonstop. Texting me even at 9, 10 o'clock at night, nonstop. They're just go, trying to get this going. So there's a lot of energy behind it, a lot of work going into it. I'm really proud of the folks that are serving on the commission because they certainly have a drive and a vision to see this come to life. They're just wearing me out in the process, but that's okay. We're going to get through it once it's launched. A couple other things that we're working on is some potential park improvements that are desperately needed. The state of the current concession stand out there does not meet Tarrant County Public Health standards in order for us to get a proper health permit. So we're working right now on figuring out what needs to change there to meet those standards. At Johnson Park. At Johnson Park, what needs to change there to meet those standards, and we're working on a couple of other things as well. So I don't expect heavy expenditures to come for that. I think it'll all remain within our current improved parks budget, but we are working on trying to figure out what needs to happen out there to bring everything up to where it needs to be. We're also already starting work on potential changes at the park that are needed, such as updated fence lines. We're doing some work right now on researching potential lighting upgrades at that park, some electrical upgrades and other things that have been talked about for quite some time. The lighting, I think we're probably looking at potentially bringing back to a CDC as a CDC project. We're evaluating those options right now, but we'll keep you informed as we move forward. But lots of things happening with Parks and Rec, trying to keep up with them as best as we can, but stay tuned on to how things are progressing. It is still closed because the fence hasn't been repaired yet. So Gilbert's working with a couple of different fence companies to get that. We had a clerical issue years ago when that basketball court was constructed. It was never actually added onto the TML insurance, so we're having to figure out a way around that to try to get it constructed. And the damage from it was from an uninsured motorist. So it's been fun to navigate. It's insured now. So we're working on trying to navigate what the potential fixes are. But Gilbert's been working on getting some different quotes. The quotes are just coming in significantly higher than what we had budgeted, so we're trying to stay within our budget if we can. Yes, Soccer 5 is progressing. We did run into 2 little hiccups. One was the lighting. We're trying to navigate the lighting issue, and we're looking at options right now with CDC and other funding options to get the lighting taken care of. The other issue was the condition of the soil underground. It is on expansive soil, so that kind of raised a little bit of a red flag. So we've been working with Soccer 5 to come up with a resolution. We did have a conversation with Commissioner Miles' office, both Joe Trammell and Rick Hatcher, and they have stepped up and said, hey, we can come in and stabilize that soil for you. That's not a problem. So we've got some stabilization efforts underway right now. We're just conversing on figuring out the engineered specs of that, but the soil just has to be stabilized before they can come in and break ground. Their timeline still hasn't changed. We're still anticipating about 15 weeks total. So we're looking good to still hopefully launch by the fall, around the fall time.
Next item is mayor's report. The only thing I have is, last meeting, you were told that I was being nominated for the executive board at COG, and they wasn't able to get me nominated. Due to some things going on with COG, I think there's a lot of upset people, and there's been a lot of nominations, so, and there was a lot more nominations on the Tarrant County side than there was east, so they moved those spots east. So currently I will not be nominated for the board, but the individuals that said they would look at it again next year, try to make a run to get me on there. So, but the individuals on there are like-minded to our city, and the ones they're voting in to, they have the same goals we do with COG. So I'll leave it at that. So with that being said, wow, the time is 6:49, and we are adjourned.
It's been a few months since that's happened.
And we